enthusiasm. I've got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk to our citizens and members of the community. I'm your host, Fastcart FC, and today is Thursday, July 27th, at least in North and South America. I always have to say that. You always have to get that caveat because we are a global community, and we are live today on Twitch and YouTube. How's everybody doing on Twitch and YouTube? Say hello in the chat. I see New Soul. And I see a bunch of people in Discord already, but we'll get to them in a moment. And Jade, how are y'all doing? So let me tell you about my week. Well, okay, I can start off with this. I had 2 movie recommendations. I don't normally give recommendations, but I saw a couple of movies this week that I just have to talk about. If you're around my age and you consider Michael Keaton to be your Batman, check out The Flash. Yes, it had some plot hole problems. Yes, it had some CGI problems. And, you know, people can't turn off their brain enough to get around them. But if you are my age and you like the comic books from the 80s and 90s, check out The Flash, because it's a huge nostalgia bomb, and I think people, my demographic will enjoy it. So if you're a kid in the 80s, check out The Flash. Who Cloned Tyrone is on the other end of the spectrum. It is great, and I didn't see any major problems with the plot. It's funny. It has Jamie Foxx, Tatiana Paris, and John Boyega in it, and I think most people will like it. It's fun. So check out Who Cloned Tyrone. And oh yeah, so Griffin is going to have his show on the People Radio soon. Dark Knight and I had all shows on the People Radio just recently. So check out the People Radio. Check out on Miss Cloud or on Twitter, and you can check out see our shows. My show just aired last week, and I think it was a good one. People seem to enjoy it. Oh yeah. So I mentioned previously, I bought a new air purifier. My first air purifier. I'm not really experienced with them, so I did some research on the reviews and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it confirmed what I already suspected. The contaminant indicator goes up whenever I approach or go by the air purifier, so it just goes to show that my old black ass is dusty as hell. The indicator doesn't lie. And with that, I'm going to, oh yes, so we have our St. Jude challenge. So let me get to that before we get into our show. So yes, we're doing a challenge with St. Jude for children hospital. We started on June 1st, and we end on October 22nd, so it's the time weekend. And we've already raised $1,327. So thank you all who have already donated. If you haven't donated, or if you have donated, please reach out to other people to let them know that the fundraiser is still going. We've already done our giveaways for the first 2 tiers, the $500 and $1,000 tier, but we still have the $2,000 to $10,000 tier to go through. And the $10,000 giveaway will you know, I can't think of the word, but it will end with the Endeavor Master Set giveaway. I'm trying to think of a fancy word. It didn't want to come to me. So yeah, that is the St. Jude Children's Hospital fundraiser. So you can see all these tiers on the screen. So please, yeah, it's a worthy cause, in my opinion. All right, so with that, oh, wrong one. Yeah. You ever had one of those days where things just go wrong? I turned my lamp on before the show, and it was flickering. Like I was like, "Oh no, please don't go out." It went out like 10 minutes before the show, so I'm using my other lamp. So that's why I look off today. Look like a ghost or something. I don't know what I look like. But yeah, so let me do my thing, and then we can get on with the show. Okay, so for this one, I'm doing remakes, so that's a big hint right there. But with this one, I decided to do both the original line and the remake line, so people should be able to get there. So, and yes, thank you, Jay, for putting in the link to join us for Ep.110 Chapter this week. Talk about what's going on with Star Citizen this week. Alright, so here's the original line. Baby, you make me wish I had 3 hands. Now here's the remake line. Trust me, baby, you're gonna wish you had 3 hands. So what are those 2 lines from? It's the same title, but one is the remake, one is the original. There you go. New Soul got it already. Total Recall. That's the answer. Cataclysm's like, oh, it's so close. We drag people down. We're trying to drag people down. There we go. Okay. So yeah, we're joined by Fistface, Jade, Kalbati, and Hopping Face.
All right.
You were lost in that one, Kalbati. You didn't have no clue.
Yeah. I had nothing. I was thinking, okay, Steven Stallone, some kind of movie back in the day or whatever.
Infamous bar scene.
His name Quaid, wasn't it?
No,
Yeah,
that's
Quaid.
not Quaid.
That was the name of the character. Yep.
Who's Quaid?
No. Quaid was the one
Quaid
that was
one.
the Quaid was actually
The bad guy.
was
wasn't it?
no. Quaid was actually Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold
Right.
Schwarzenegger in the first one, and Colin Farrell in the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quaid. That was the main character. Yep.
Right.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
So this is opening up a whole new set of movies because I've been ignoring remakes all this time because it occurred to me that I can't go beyond 20 years, but with remakes it opens a whole lot of movies. So hey, I got a whole another monologue I can go through. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody else this week?
Pretty good.
And good.
I've seen them both, but I really don't remember the remake.
The remake was
Very,
terrible.
very-
The remake was horrible, pal.
No,
We watched it one time and
Bitch.
threw it in. Matter of fact, you know what is funny? I actually have the Blu-ray downstairs. I don't even know why I bought it.
We do?
was
Yeah,
it
'cause
$5?
You know what it was? Yeah, it was $3. It was
$3.
$3
Close.
from Best Buy.
It was in the bin. It was in the
Yeah, it
big
was in
bin.
the
Yep, it was in the bin.
Big bin.
Yeah, it was like, all right, well, let's spend some money. All right, well, all right.
Face,
$5.
I just got a comment. You got to work on your Charles Barkley impersonation. Terrible. You got to work on that.
Terrible.
Oh my goodness, y'all are fun. Look like we got to have a lively show today.
All right.
So with that, let's get started. We're gonna go to the sneak peek. So today's sneak peek is Meet Me on the Battlefield. And this came out Friday in the weekly newsletter as normal. And so people want to guess what that is.
Oh.
That's a storm.
It's a bike with
That's a handlebar. Is that the handlebar?
yeah, that's the handlebars. A bike with pencils on top. I mean, that's not really needed to be guessed at. So
Yeah, I'm guessing that's a storm too.
unless you're supposed to guess who the person
Oh,
is.
it's some kind of mech.
The Titan
God.
suit. Is that the new Titan? Colorado?
Yeah, that's not transformed yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was his name? The Triple Challenger. He was a tank and a something else. I'm trying to not Astro Train. Blitzkrieg. That's it. Decepticon Blitzkrieg.
Oh.
I'm going old school on your ass. No one knows what I'm talking about.
I have nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
I was from the 80s Transformers cartoon. Blitzkrieg.
I forgot all about their names, man. I remember Starscreen. Obviously,
you remember the main
Optimus,
ones.
Megatron. Obviously, we know Bumblebee and all of the rest of
Now,
them.
Bumblebee's still around.
So-
Yeah.
Is the person over in the left-hand corner to give us the true size
Yes.
of it? Because it's actually a little bit bigger than I kind of imagined, looking at the person next to it standing.
You know, I didn't even notice that person, but yeah, I guess you're trying to give it a scale because the person gets into the front, it gets into it like it was a mech. That's what the developer said. It's like a mech, but not an actual mech.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Is this thing a death trap? Because
Yeah, that's a good question. Go ahead.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, all right, if you get into some trouble, like red alert type status, right?
Mhm.
And does it have an eject seat?
It's-
Because the only reason why I'm thinking about it, because if you think about it, if your front gets damaged enough, or I don't know how the mechanics will work, I'm just saying, your front gets damaged enough to where, let's say the front doesn't open. I mean, it's basically goodbye.
you get pooped out the back.
Oh, got
Pop,
you.
That's the
Pop,
ejection seat.
You've been hanging around me too long because I was thinking the same
Lord
thing.
mercy.
I use
Here we go.
I use poop. I didn't use a bad word.
Here we go.
So I have a question for you. So if this thing does that, what color is the poop?
Oh, now I'll leave that up to you. I don't know.
Oh,
I guess it's a people color.
Oh my
Blue and
goodness.
green.
You think so? I'm Kusanagi. How are you doing?
Hey
Silence
guys,
is
how's
the
it going?
best response.
No response to that one.
It is interesting because I mean, so armor usually has the strongest armor in the front but not the top. So, but I mean, you bring up a good point because if you're trying to not get shot, if you have to escape it, say if it does get disabled, just say it doesn't get destroyed, say it goes to soft death,
Right.
then I mean, you got to figure a way to get out. So I don't know if it maybe has like blast panels to like get it open. I don't know. Maybe you need a Moby
That's-
device to cut your way out. I'm not sure.
I want to know because I mean that's I mean
Yeah,
I'm
I didn't actually think about that.
I'm
The
sitting here
other
looking
thing
at
I
it.
want to know is if you fall into water, is it waterproof? I'm not trying to doing real life situation that happened recently. It just occurred to me that I should maybe talk about that, but it just occurred to me like
I get what you're saying. Yeah, they didn't good.
If it's airtight, because it's a combat tank in the 30th century that's going to be used on moons with and planets with atmosphere that people can't breathe. If it's airtight, it's watertight.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good enough. Yeah, we don't know what pressure can go to, but I don't know if that's gonna be a thing on Thursday. Then we'll see.
It's going to be a thing. Yeah, they've already said it's going to be a thing. In fact, we'll find that out with Crusader at a certain point. Yeah.
Good point. But yeah, that is the sneak peek, and again, that is titled "Meet Me on the Battlefield." Everyone thinks that's the Storm. So yeah.
And that comes from a song called "Meet Me on the Battlefield" by Circina from 2016, from an EP Lover Fighter. So.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought it didn't occur to me that was a song. I thought it was just a quote.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So up next we have. Oh yes. So Star Citizen Live returned last week, and we had Roberto, who's the concept. Well, I don't know if he's the concept. I forget his title, but he did a concept art in this Star Citizen Live. It was called. Okay, I have to be careful because making ship with a P up the 3. So this is the third in the series from Star Citizen Live Gamedev. And I'm gonna fast forward here so we can get to the actual ship. So they were tasked with making a Origin hover tank, and they had various degrees of success. I shall we say? Would anyone disagree with that?
I don't know about success, but
Well.
successfully stacking stuff. If you
Yeah, great kit bashing episode, but yeah, very cool. I think one of them, I'm assuming we'll get to it in this here video that you're showing. and the clip is I guess snobs approved. What I heard.
Oh yeah, let me get to the. Is that the end? Is that this one?
No,
last
not
one.
that one.
It was the last one. I believe.
It
I thought that was
was
the last one. That's the
Nah,
last one.
no,
His
no, he
last-
didn't. No,
nah.
Griff didn't say that one.
No,
Nah, he
not
didn't say that one.
You didn't get.
I think
I
it
think
was
Is that it?
this one. This is the one I believe he said it was snobs approved.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it on the Twitter. Yeah, I think this
Uh.
one. Yep.
Oh,
That's
this
the
one?
That
Okay.
one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
you know, to me, this one was the best one. Now, the one that we saw before this one could have been good. It's just they just went a little too nuts with all of the guns.
The guns. Yeah. Okay. I think they did a lineup at the very end. So let me see if I can find the lineup. Okay, that's it. Yeah, coming to it. Give me a moment.
Yeah. No, you got it. See, that one
Yeah,
at the back would have been good, but I don't know. They just kind of went silly.
With the guns.
Yeah, they went Rihanna Battleship on this one. That
I forgot all about that movie.
Oh yeah, I sure did.
that was a horrible movie. Just
I don't know.
Oh,
I
my
actually
goodness.
like
Let me
that
pause
movie.
there. You like what?
I actually like that movie. I don't know why I
the
liked
movie.
it. Yeah, it was so not what I
Wait, you
to
saw the
your,
one with the cats? You were talking about the Chris Roberts movie, right?
what?
What movie are we talking about?
Some more Battlefield
Battle-
with Rihanna in it.
Battlefield.
No, Battleship.
Okay, yeah.
Battleship.
Was it
Oh,
Battle? Oh,
Battleship.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
Battleship. Yeah, damn it.
Battleship.
I'm sorry, my bad.
I thought you guys were
The
talking
Battlefield
about
is a
the.
different movie.
Yeah, you're correct. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
I thought
My
you were
bad.
talking about the Chris Roberts one with the hairless cats. And I'm like, what?
Oh,
The
you talking about
what?
Wing Commander?
Wing Commander, yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
No,
wait,
someone completely. How are we gonna come? How are we gonna have one name for complete different movies?
I don't know, dude.
Y'all
I-
hardship.
At least mine was
Anyway.
close. At least mine was close. But hey,
But yeah, so between
apologize.
these five, okay. So the second one is not approved, so that's good to know. The third one, the middle one, I don't want to call it my favorite, but it's a trip. The verticality we don't see that much in Star Citizen or in general these days.
Yeah.
but I don't know though. Like we talk. I'm sorry, Paul. I'm just saying real quick. That it's like Mortal Engines. That was a trash movie.
Oh yeah, he did mention Mortal Engine.
Yeah, Pops. I'm sorry.
No. The vertical one would be a cool design, but just not for Origin. They'd have to throw that into another designer.
But
I
Pop,
can see.
but Pop,
Go ahead.
it had neon.
Oh,
What?
well then it's neighborhood approved.
I could
Okay.
see like the Carrack, like because it's got the big, tall bays in there. I could see the Carrack like dropping these things out of the bays. The
Wait,
big
what?
one, the tall one.
Oh, you mean like from
Oh,
the cargo pods?
Yeah, from the cargo pods. Like if you had like
Oh.
2 in each pod, like roll out. and you have
Oh,
these-
okay. But then the
Them all are
cargo
respected.
pods would have to it would have to have doors like flap doors, and they don't have that though.
I don't know what those are going to turn into. They
No,
could
that's
do
true.
anything.
That is cool. You are correct. But please,
I think the last one with all the guns on it though, that looked like something that could have been on Jabba the Hutt could have owned that one on his barge. Or, send some people out to the Rancor pit, not Rancor pit, the Starlight pit.
you have a good point because the first one actually looks more Star Wars though. When you really
Yeah,
think about it.
the first one does too. You're right.
I just wish
I
they
just
stayed a
hope
little bit
if-
more serious.
If they do it, I hope they would make it able to go on land and over, and
Over water.
over water. Like a hover vehicle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the
I would
30th
hope.
century, so hopefully it would do that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't this supposed to be wasn't it supposed to initially supposed to be all hover vehicles? Like you
Yeah,
said,
and
they
that's
all
where they
hover,
just
yeah.
no,
So,
they don't.
why is the one in the middle?
The middle one is not hover, right? The middle one is not hover. But that
I
was-
guess they
that was
forgot
one of
about
the early attempts.
Yeah, that was the first one, I think.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just forgot all
Like,
about it.
we're
Oh,
gonna
I
make a
forgot the
hover tank.
assignment.
and then make treads. And then the other one, he looks like a tank, and he's got those circles on it, like it's from the Matrix. So
And Sandgroper said, if we do get a hover tank, I think an alien hover tank might be the way to go. So, what species, Sandgroper? We want Banu, Xeon, or who?
Banu. That'd be cool to go in your Banu, a hover. That vehicle, whatever vehicles that they have a spot in the Banu.
I don't see Banu doing hover. I see Xeon doing hover. I see Xeon doing hover, but I don't see Banu doing hover. I think they would have treads or wheels, in my opinion.
Not if it's a good. Well, remember the Banu take was the best.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
if they see if hover is the best, then they're gonna go with Xeon. Right?
Banu will make a military one. I don't know about military. I could see that Xeon doing military or Siobhan doing military because they have the talent already. I mean, they have the defender obviously, but that's only one example. We don't know. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that is the Star Citizen July. So some of the other. Some of the other comments that I noted down because I was watching. I take notes while I watch. I think a bunch of people would pledge for. I think the second one that we say. Griffin says it's not approved. I think people would pay good money for that one. I mean, people probably buy any one of these if they put them out. So yeah, I think it was a fun episode though.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see. I mean, shout out to Blender. It gets a lot of love, but then again, it doesn't. But
I will say this: I hope Roberto's coming back because he was given a hard time by his boss, by Jared. he at one point he got fined like twice. So yeah, I hope he comes back. It was a fun episode. And if you want a summary of the episode, check out the Nubifier video. So yeah, but I would recommend just going through and watching the whole thing for this one because it's a fun episode.
Now, Nubifier is an engineer, isn't he? Isn't he an engineer?
I'm not sure what his
I think he's. Well, I don't know what he currently does, but I know he's retired military. So
yeah, I know he's retired military.
Because maybe I'm thinking. I know it was a person that used to do the videos, an engineer's point of view, something similar like that in the title.
Architect.
Architects.
That's a morphologist.
That was Morph. Okay, I knew. Okay, somebody was okay. All right.
Oh yeah, definitely a big shout out real quick though. Alberto has a video of him talking about ship design from the BlendCon, BCon.
Oh, okay, cool.
Look that up on YouTube.
Give me that link, and I'll drop it into chat.
I will look that up for you.
Oh, I forgot about his dog.
The dog.
Designed the ship specifically for the dog.
Yeah.
The stank.
We got about the dog. That was a fun episode.
Yeah.
All right, so typically we have some kind of CitizenCon update. There's no real CitizenCon update this week, but I just want to say tickets are still on sale. They haven't sold out. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me just refresh just in case.
Yep, all gone.
Yep, tickets are still on sale. VIP tickets are still sold out. It's still $1.99. So yeah, tickets are still on sale for CitizenCon. So other than that, no real update.
Didn't we have the update that they're adding fight or flight to CitizenCon?
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right.
No problem. All right, so up next we have the Galactapedia for July 2023. Have a full-length article, SSN CATV, a long-lasting news network. They have a whole bunch of short articles, Vulcan, a fixer, Legionnaire, a border, Ares, a fighter, a Cosmos Sloop, Cosmic Slop, isn't that George Clinton?
Yeah.
Overall planning ship. I'm going to look at that up later. Matter of fact, let me just open that right now so I don't forget. New window. Cosmic Sloop. Horror System, Red Sun. Sterling, primarily inhabited in the Twilight Zone. Horus 3. Horse Belt Alpha, Horse Belt Beta, Horse 3. Marie Sante mysteriously disappeared. Oh my goodness. Kuyuka. Okay. System.
Kyukia.
An Inter-Empire Trading Hub. Kuyuka 1, Gloriously Ring. Okay, I might want to see that in game. Painu, happening place for Xeon Youth. Kuyuka 2, a tilted planet. That's probably like what, Neptune? Into Neptune? Yeah. Kuyuka Belt Alpha. Eros Navis, hero to accountants everywhere. Dahunshul Kosako, determined to the last, sorry. Nisi Ruth, rebellious daughter. And Koi Koya. Okay. Oh, the ultimate endurance race. I wish I had practiced these before I went on here, but okay. I think I'm muddled through those. But that is the Galactapedia update. And then there's a Spectrum update too, but there's no additional developers post, so everything that we just read is in there. Yep.
Oh, I sent you the link.
Okay. This is for, what is it? Beacon again?
Yeah, Alberto.
Alright, so this is the link that Festival gave me. Check that out. Spaceship concept design pipeline for sci-fi. Thanks for that, Fish.
No problem.
And that is the Galactapedia update.
Kevon
There.
has a question for you.
Da-da-da.
Kevon in the chat.
Oh, what is
So what is CitizenCon? Is it like a virtual event? No, CitizenCon is a real event that people show up to. It's going to be in LA on October 21st and 22nd, Los Angeles, California, USA. And it's an event where people gather around and talk to our citizens and receive presentations presented by Chris Babbitt and other employees from CitizenCon, from CIG. And normally it's a one-day event, but this year they expanded it to 2-day event. So that is.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, I was gonna say, but it will be I guess you could say televised on Twitch. So I guess
Yeah, we'll be televised on Twitch and replayed on YouTube later on. It'll be live on Twitch though.
Yeah, but think of it like, any regular, convention for, with hosts and, Q&As and stuff like that. So, and they'll have stuff they're going to talk about.
Let me put it this way. It's like a bar citizen, except there's more people, and the developers takes more of a center stage in this event.
But what's a bar citizen?
Yeah, what's a bar citizen?
Oh my god.
Oh,
I don't even know what a citizen con is.
Anyway,
we'll make you do your work, fastcart. Go ahead, do your work.
A Bar Citizen is an event where Star Citizen backers get together and talk Bar Citizen. Normally, it's at a physical venue like a bar, or it could be at a restaurant, or sometimes it's even at a bowling alley and stuff like that. And there's been talk about doing it, having a gathering at movie theater, for a big like something like. A Marvel movie gathering, so people can just hang out and watch a movie and go, maybe get something to eat after it. So yeah, the Bar Citizen is a physical event. We've had virtual Bar Citizens in the past, sponsored by sponsored by Soul Citizen and Yacht Club, with New Soul doing trivia contest. But check out barcitizen.sc for more info.
Yeah, but what's a bar?
No, you don't get it. CitizenCon is a giant bowling alley convention thing. Yeah.
But Kyle Roddy said, "What's a bar?"
Yeah. I know, I heard him. That's why I'm getting the look right now.
You lift them up. You put like weights in the end of it, and you can lift them up.
It's also something that rappers have. Like they got bars.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I rubbed off on y'all. I'm not gonna take responsibility, but I rubbed off on y'all. Next we had the roadmap roundup for July 26, 2023.
Real quick, so I noticed something from the Aegis Vulcan lore, that in the description they didn't include rearm. They only included repair and refuel. So if you click on the link, and it takes you to the
Well,
page.
which one?
I don't know, for the Aegis Vulcan, the very first one.
Oh, Vulcan. Okay.
Yeah, and if you check the role, it says repair, and refuel. Now, originally, if I recall, we knew that it was also capable of doing rearm. So what I'm wondering is, has the design shifted since then? Because on the old page, you see rearm, but in the role, you're only seeing
I mean,
repair.
and when it first came out, it's like rearm. How much ammo is going to carry? Because each ship carries different kinds of ammo. So how much cargo is going to be dedicated to that? So I'm not surprised if they took out rearm.
Okay.
Oh,
Not-
but so I mean, so my big thing is, and especially ground combat, is the need for ammo carriers to be able to bring ammo to, like, say, the Tonk and stuff like that. And I think if you're talking about using ballistic ammunition, which is going to be kind of hard to find, once you get further away from big systems like Stanton, then you need a way to kind of get the ammo to the troops if you're going to use it. I mean, yes, it's a lot better to have repeaters or something like that, because you don't have to worry about ammo. But again, you don't have the stopping power. So I don't know. I maybe it's a typo. Maybe they're changing it much.
Yeah, I prefer energy-based weapons or anything that can use a capacitor. That's my personal preference. I know some people are all ballistic all the time, but you gotta carry all that stuff too. So
Yeah, that's important. I mean,
The only thing, the main reason why I said that, because if they do change it, I hope that their communication is clear enough that they have changed the design, even though all these things are volatile to change. But I think if it was intentional,
And Griffin into the chat saying, isn't it rearm, repair, and refuel? It still is refuel
Exactly,
and still
yeah.
is repair. But it still says,
but we're not seeing rearm in the description.
it says medium repair right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And repair right there too. But the rearm thing, I'm not surprised they took out.
But it is in the description though.
It says rearm in the description.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
That's the original description though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So if you check on the original page also.
Oh,
so, yeah. So maybe it's a typo. I don't know.
It says rearm in the ship matrix. Yeah, but that's the ship matrix, prisoner. I mean, how reliable is the ship matrix? What were you gonna say, Jade? Sorry.
I was gonna say, couldn't it be because technically every ship can rearm with PES?
No, every ship can refuel, and well, not every ship can repair, but every ship can refuel too. So.
Well, I was thinking like you can carry around, missiles and weapons, stuff like that. So why wouldn't you be able to carry around like ammunition?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Griffin said it was sold on those three. I know Griffin.
Yeah,
but
so that's
like,
what I was saying.
It's the same concept. They have a disclaimer down there that things may change during the concept phase. So I think this is one of the things that changed, in my opinion.
Once they communicate, that's the issue. Once they communicate in advance, because it was a semi-major change, if it is a change and not a typo.
We shall see, but that's a good catch. That ain't changing. All right, we'll see. All right. So this is the roadmap roundup for July 26th. Yeah, I'll read through these. So progress tracker, the following deliverables have been added to the progress tracker. New missions still evident. New mission cargo hauling. New mission fuel recover cargo. New missions restoration contract. New reputation shop discount. That's cool. Reputation hostility. Reputation sandbox trigger. So I didn't go through and read through each one of those, but anything stand out for those on the progress tracker? Anyone?
I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it, but the restoration contracts is kind of a big thing. I mean, you're talking about a new location where you can fix ships for the most part and do that for money. It's pretty cool. and it kind of is going to go into how the game's going. I think it's a big patch. I think it's a huge mission type, but yeah,
Okay,
I'll stop with that.
so I really want to see. I know it'll be obviously with tier 0, but I'm looking at the reputation hostility thing.
Hmm?
I know that obviously it'll be something where like you fly into, obviously if you're an R Corp and if you have a good reputation with Tuchpachenko, or I forget who's enemies to who's, you know what I mean, but then if you come across the other faction would have some beef or whatever. I really would like to see that develop further than just, oh, okay, you came in here and you shot us up. I rather would like to see that happen when you like in town or something like that, rather than just in space. But I know right now it's tier 0.
Also, the thing with that is, your reputation isn't like if you die and it doesn't get wiped if you go to prison. Like if I keep doing reputation, I get max reputation with fastcart's gang, and then I bump heads with Kilride's gang like a month later. They're gonna know that because I've been doing like 50 missions in the past month against Kilride. It's like, so it's
Right.
really gonna be. And I think if you die, you lose a little bit of it, but you won't lose all of it. And it's gonna be really cool to see what happens.
All I gotta say, if you're in my gang, you better represent. You better come correct. You know what I'm saying?
I can't
30Ks.
get a can of Skull Red.
I don't know.
Do my cob red.
Yeah, because there's 30 of them. So
Analogy.
it's the 30Ks.
Oh my god.
That's the thing.
I
He
just
30Ks you. He's like,
We need a Jade joke ban right now. Greg, can you say that, please?
Y'all go
just
crazy on that
picture
on Sunday's show, by the way. I just want to say, we tried to look for questions on the question sheet, and there's nothing but joke bands on there. I'm like, whoa. Alright, so yeah.
No, I was just saying I got a picture of Karate and Fastcart getting ready to rumble in an alleyway during the Admiral,
Hey, karate,
Like, okay.
karate,
Yeah.
dance off.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that old movie West Side
I
Story?
no,
West Side
whoa.
Story.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, I
it
know it's the
won't be
name.
West Side Story. What was that movie with the dance fighting? Not dance fighting, but oh my god, it was horrible.
So-
Like the 80s thing, and it was like they would pop a lock and all that stuff.
Fame?
Come on, breaking?
No, you talking about breakdancing?
Break dancing, yeah, like
Yeah,
break
Oh,
dancing.
breaking, the electric boogaloo.
Breaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
breaking. Yeah, that's those two. They'd be breaking, doing like.
Anyway, we get
Right,
off
doing the
topic here, but
snake.
yeah. Alright, so that's the first half of the roadmap roundup. Then we got the release view. The following card has been added to release view, targeting in 320 release. Physicalized cargo update, adding new functionality to accommodate the release of the Mist Hole C. This includes both automated cargo loading at LEO, that's
Low Earth orbit.
what is it?
Low Earth orbit.
Low Earth orbit, thank you. A low Earth orbit station, as well as SCU containers containing up to 32 SCU. The following card has been added to release view targeting 320X release. Crusader A1 Spirit, building, balancing, and implementing the Crusader Industries Light Bomber, the A1 Spirit, into the game. So those two are probably some big news. Anyone got comments on those two?
Friendly A1 incoming.
Oh my god.
I'm hearing morphs. Morph screen right now.
I really can't
Oh,
wait
boy.
for the A1. I have it. I bought it, and my idea is just I want to be able to practice and be able to go max speed and whatever atmosphere that I have to go through, and then drop bombs and hit targets. So that's what I'll be doing for like weeks upon weeks. To just find a target and just try to like go as fast as I can and release and get out of there. Like the it's the F-111 fighter bomber that the Air Force used to have, and so on, and the B-1 bomber. So yeah.
All I
It's
gotta
so
say
cool.
all I gotta say for the A1 is that they better not make it too powerful, or they'll be called for a nerf. That's all I'm gonna say.
With regards to the physicalized cargo update, though, as they said, containers up to 32 SCU. Well, this includes automated cargo and as well as. So, does that mean? Well, I don't. That sentence opens up more questions than answers for me, because does that mean that for 320 there may be a chance for, say, if other ships other than the Hull C are loading their cargo, would they, instead of getting the massive server frame dropping 500 plus SCU of cargo, are they going to generate 24 SCU cargo, as they're talking about SCU containers up to 30 SCU now? Because that's what they're saying, is this includes both automated as well as SCU containers. So that's what I'm wondering. Or is this only strictly limited to the Hull Hull C, sorry, and 32 SCU cargo? But it doesn't make sense because it's saying up to 32 SCU cargo containers. And in that regard, what are they going to make any updates to the tractor beam, or are we going to get that new tractor beam, the larger one, the larger tractor beam tool, apart from potentially the ships that are going to be able to support the tractor beams as well on the turrets?
Good question. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. So, I know Eva Carter can't say anything. I'm just wondering. I can't even ask that because you
You
can't
can't.
say anything.
You
So
can't
never
say
mind.
anything, so you can't ask.
Yeah. My question was, when you think it'll be released, the PTU will release the wave 1, but you can't say anything. So I was
That's a
just
win
curious.
question.
Yeah.
Soon, TM.
Soon, TM. Okay, that's fair enough. All right. So, and finally, I have at the bottom here. New Crusader platform, new mission, retrieve consignment. Due to encountering several issues with the Rastar while setting up locations, these two deliverables did not pass their final review and need additional work before they're released to the live server. Therefore, these features will remain tentative on release view and will not target a 320.net release while remaining in the 320 column. So that is the new Crusader platform, new mission, retrieve consignment. So, and moving that to 320X. But I am surprised to see the Crusader A1 spirit. I was hoping, well, I guess I was hoping for the C1 and the E1 first, but I guess they decided to focus on the A1. Anyone else feel the same, or like I know DK in here.
Well, I mean the A1. I'm like, not. It's not my. I'm gonna get me wrong. I'll do it, but it's not my first like excitement in the game as far as my profession.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool for like obviously when PvE or PvP gameplay, Jump Town, and all of those Horus and Siege of Horus and all of those things jump off and really get going. But like I said, I really want to see asteroid mining get there, but we got a long ways to go.
Yeah, they're having a good conversation in chat, and Kavion says he doesn't care about the A1, only the E1. Citizens and Atticans are like, shouldn't the C1 be first? And the prisoner responded, E1 had no gameplay for it yet. So, yeah, that's probably why they're doing the A1. That's all the gameplay in the game for the A1.
Right.
At least they have gravity bombs for that. From the Moab. No, that's
yeah. No, I was gonna say, but the C1 is because cargo refactor is getting ready to come in 320. Right.
To what extent, though? That's the thing too.
That's a good thing too. But I would think that the C1 would be, since Hull C is coming in though. So I mean, I would think you never know. They might sneak it in there. Hey.
Yeah, they might, but I they only say that A1 right now. I'll trust them for say the A1, but we'll see. That's kind of fast. 'Cause I can't even remember when the Spirit went live when concept for CitizenCon, right? October
Was it? Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, it was in
Yeah.
October.
So that's like 10 months. No, 9 months ago. So that's pretty quick for the A1. Yep. We also have the Spectrum version of the Roundup, and not unlike the previous article, this one does have a cool CIG follow-up from Jake Acapella. Like this one, I had to screenshot it, but it said that some of the downstream team were just updated and this published. More on the way. So the downstream teams were updated and the progress tracker or the roadmap update. You can check that out on the roadmap on the Olisar website. This one is, let me scroll down. Freight elevators won't be in 320. They'll be coming in the future release. For info on the cargo updates in 320, check out this ISC episode in the back half. So he said the freight elevators won't be coming in 320, unfortunately. And there's one more, I believe. This is from Jake Gamedev. He's responding to 320 seems like a filler pack, nothing real substantial in my opinion. Is there any reason why the A1 has been added? And Jake responded, the A1 will be the first of the three that's ready. So that's the only reason why it's added. It'll just be just the first one that's ready. So, I mean, if you were to take this literally, that means the gameplay really didn't came into well, I can't really say that. Because the gameplay probably did have a aspect and the decision to make the A1 first. But yeah. What do people
Yeah,
think?
if anything, because I do agree that I was expecting to see it to come in, but after thinking about it, I was thinking, okay, if there's a chance that we don't see any kind of cargo improvements apart from what they literally said, because it's usually healthy to take take it as literally as possible. I've come to realize, and we only get cargo improvements of up to 32 SU, and it doesn't necessarily affect cargo hauling and such. Then maybe they're thinking, okay, they have enough cargo hauling ships, and we don't have the gameplay for the E1, and as for the A1, they're possibly banking on players making up their own gameplay experiences apart from the missions that we may be getting to support.
Can you imagine the next jump town with the A1? And
I think we may actually see more A1s than the A2 bombers because of that. So it could be a bit more lively due to that. So yeah.
At least people can't rent the A1 because that's like a 90-day exclusivity window before it comes to be able to rent it. But once it's be rentable, oh man.
Oh boy. And well, the other thing I wanted, it's really nice to see the reputation being mentioned here, because what they're talking about isn't something that's static. The sandbox triggers. We're getting closer to that realm of RPG elements, and it's really nice to see that. Eventually there'll come a time where we can't just wipe our crime stat and get rid of our criminal identity or so. And in addition to that, there wouldn't be a black and white anymore where green is good and red is bad. So it's nice to see these kind of sandbox triggers coming in addition to the shop discounts. I mean, it'll be nice to buy a ship at a discount in the game after doing so many missions and such, when that time comes, whenever it does come.
Pops, you're going to appreciate this. I had a feeling that Colorado is going to be a bad boy. He's going to sneak out tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, Griffin will get that one too. Yes, the old song, folks, old song. But yeah, that is the roadmap up Roundup. Let me go back to this thing. So up next we have this. Upon reaching the final account mission, take a screenshot of your fight against the Idris and include it in a reply to this post with the hashtag #citizen for a chance to win one of the following ships with LTI. The Redeemer, the Eclipse, and the Anvil Arrow. Winners are announced on August 17th. So if you want a chance to win an LTI ship, take a screenshot of your fight against the Idris and include it in reply. And that is a part of the full mission report details and what we applied. Mission Spotlight. So tackle the most thrilling missions in the verse. Whether you're putting your life on the line for good of humanity or keeping the wheels of your commerce rolling, Star Citizen is brimming with immersive missions that let you make your mark on the universe. Over the next few months, we're spotlighting some of our favorite contracts and giving everyone who attempt them a chance to win ships perfectly suited for the challenges of the verse. So, yeah, I got the Arlington Bounty first. Going to the, of the Sword and Hammerhead. But yeah, okay. The Arlington gun gang is wreaking havoc on stacking in all manner of deadly fighters and gunships. And rumor has it, it got its hand on a devastating Edward capital frigate. Take down the Arlington target, keep the system safe, and reap the reward of a job well done. Whatever your ability level, it's the ideal way to hone your ship combat and fighting skills. You give more details about before you begin, like some background about Mount Eckhart, give you a good getting started, and some tips and tricks. Oh, that's a cool one. With the Redeemer in there. And again, this is the Arlington Bounty Screenshot Contest. It's not just the fate of the system that's at stake. Snap an action-packed screenshot of you and your crew taking on the Arlington Idris for a chance to win the Agent's Clip, Redeemer, and the Anvil Arrow. Upload it to the Community Hub or Twitter to be in with the chance to win. Read full details here and terms. And gift for success, they have the Arrow, the one of the Prize, the Inferno, the Ion, the Retaliated Bomber, the Eclipse, the Redeemer, and the Hammerhead. So yeah, I didn't see any special, well, it said view offers, but normally there'll be something like special offer on them. Let me check. I don't see anything like that special, so I guess it's just click on upgrade. Yep, it's just a normal thing. So yeah, nothing special about that. So yeah, anyone who wants to participate, try to win a ship?
No.
No?
So hear me out. I've got an idea. Get you,
Okay.
please, one day. So, this event kind of made me really hope that eventually, let's say we kind of made a bit of a twist with this event and said, okay, kind of similar to the whole where you had to get the Halloween masks and such, but I would like to see similar events, but in game where you can actually be rewarded items if you're playing as a group. So let's say you do the same mission as a group, or however many persons, or just one person, and you beat the actual mission itself. Of course, on their side, they may see the analytics of how many persons may have been sharing that contract within a party, right? So they may see, okay, it would have taken 5 of them altogether to beat this mission. Perhaps that could actually, give them some kind of reward by doing some kind, and that reward can possibly be shift paints or something else outside of winning a ship. So players, not just one person, but multiple people have a chance of winning items by playing together, by playing the game. So this is something that I'm hoping that they emphasize more on as we continue to push forward. I know that their reward system, I think it was Jake or Xylo, it's a bit limited right now. So these things is still a manual process, but it would be great to see more of those things to encourage more group participation in the game with regards to some of these rewards eventually.
Has anybody done that mission? The Arlington gang?
I have not. And yeah, has
I've
anyone
done it
that?
once.
How
That
is
was
it?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, or because I know when it first came out and we did it, and you know, you were able to, whoever got, like, if your group had the mission
yeah.
and somebody came, you know, and just waited to get that last shot.
Yeah,
got-
yeah,
And I'm just
yeah.
wondering, if it got, you know, if anybody knows it got fixed. Or
That I don't remember
Yeah.
because I think, yeah, like you said, one of the challenge was spawning it in
Captain
a
Jones says
place.
it's fixed.
It's fixed. Okay, awesome. That's super awesome because yeah, I can definitely remember what you meant by that, Pops, and it's great to see that it's fixed.
Thank you, Captain Jones, for the info.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, that is the mission spotlight with the chance for the to win a ship. And you know, my question is, say you're part of a group, you take a screenshot, you win something, but everyone else is part of it, and
That's
they
what
don't
I'm
get anything.
saying. That's what I'm exactly.
Yeah, that was the whole point, right?
Yeah, and just like Captain Jones said, you get paid based on the DPS on their side, on the server end side. You know, they may be able to actually see these analytics. So as a result, they'll be able to know, okay, even within a group, let's say 4 persons in the group actually contributed based on the DPS dealt. So they'll be able to know, okay, you can reward, you know, these 4 people these particular rewards in either in the game or tied to their account, or even if it's not tied to the account, you know, to encourage more group participation and such.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't know how they're gonna handle that, but hopefully it won't be any hurt feelings, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Hopefully. All right. So yes, and this is the Spectrum version of the Origin Games Screen Time Contact. Are they allowing submissions in the thread? No, they just said community hub or Twitter, or nothing. And you don't apply to the thread, but that just gives you some of the rule and the winning condition. So winning condition, CIG0 will judge your entry based on quality, aesthetic composition, and rule adherence. And submissions in on Thursday, August 10th, 11:59 p.m. Pacific. We also give you the time UTC. And yeah, so if you're interested, go ahead and try to check it out. Sorry about that.
Is it died?
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Time to make sure I'm good for before I sneeze again, but I think I'm good. All right, so next we have This Week in Star Citizen. Tuesday we had the narrative team Galactapedia update. We already covered that. Wednesday had a bi-weekly roadmap. We covered that. Thursday we had the Inside Star Citizen. That's coming up next. Also, this week is the final week of the Foundation Festival 2953, and the last chance to earn some sweet rewards exclusive to the event. Check out the Foundation Festival Hub with more detail. And I believe they said Friday there will be no Star Citizen Live. So no Star Citizen Live tomorrow, but you will get the weekly newsletter as normal. So no Star Citizen Live for this week. All right. And with that, we are up to our Inside Star Citizen. Now, I did watch this earlier. I didn't really see a good breaking point in the middle. Anyone else watch this today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we checked it out.
Yeah.
I did not watch this because I've been staying away from it because I wanted to get some oohs and ahs for the show. If you hear any heavy breathing, it's just because of the show.
So people who watched it, is there a good stopping point in the middle? Like, can I split it? It's 19 minutes long.
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So I guess if I can find a stopping point in the middle, I'll try to stop. But other than that, we can just go for 20 minutes. This is one of the longer Inside Star Citizens we had in a while. So all right, sit back, relax, and then yeah.
I'll hold up my hand and let you know when it's a good time to stop.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
I was
you.
thinking, you know, that part.
What was that?
Remember when it was taking a really long time for something to load?
Yeah.
You're right. That's what I was thinking. That may be the only point when it's a good time to stop. The moment I start. So, but yeah, we'll go with Pops.
All right.
All right. So here we go. This is Inside Star Citizen, preparing prototypes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Inside Star Citizen, our weekly look at the behind-the-scenes development of what my mother calls that video game Jared's making whenever she explains it to her friends. It's Q3, and if you've been following this show in any of its incarnations for a while now, you know that the road to CitizenCon is a very interesting one for our weekly video content, as we skillfully avoid all the hot topics being saved for the big, now 2-day event, and use that challenge as an opportunity to explore aspects of our development that might otherwise never get a chance to shine. It's an opportunity this quarter to look at how Rastar is being used to remaster existing UGFs in Alpha 320, to explore racing a little bit, and a new ship that readers of Jump Point magazine and our social media channels probably already know is on its way. An update to Claudius and how it's being used to create even more immersive environments heading your way, and then a spin around the whole VFX department to see what they're up to. Yes, Virginia, it's true, there will be fire. We can do all this and more as we navigate our journey to the big 2 days in October. But up this week, and my reason for sitting here at my desk, dumping just a little bit of SCL into our ISC, is to talk to Torsten and Jacob from the EUPU feature team about the prototyping process, how they test design and programming implementations at the earliest stages, and how it relates to munching, an important component of salvage, and my nightly routine just 20 minutes before I go to sleep. Torsten, Jacob, how you doing, people?
Doing good.
I am fine, thank you.
All right, so we are here talking about prototyping process. Before we get into it, give me the top level, just the like the LinkedIn version answer. What is a prototype and why do we do it?
A prototype basically can have several facets in game development, and for us particular, it is always about gameplay, and in this particular case, it is about the technical, the technical problems that we might face and we might have to solve. So for that, we always use prototypes, and playtesting those prototypes is a crucial part in game development, where it is mainly used to prove theories, where the theory is either gameplay is fun, does it technically work, and this is basically what the purpose of a prototype is.
Anything you want to add, Jacob?
From more of a dev perspective, we tend to take what the designer's vision is for gameplay, and then we've got to figure out how can we achieve that in the game, and just as often that's not crystal clear from the start, so we have to try a few things and see what technical hurdles might be ahead of us that we're going to have to consider for the full development.
So what we're going to do on this week's show, the first of our Q3 shows where things are a little bit different, we are going to look at a feature at the absolutely earliest stage. This is earlier than we've ever shown any feature ever, the prototype phase. What we're about to show you is not going to look good. It's not going to look pretty. It's going to be weird, poppy, and buggy. So we're just warning you ahead before you take the footage and put it in your YouTube videos. What is the prototype that we're going to look at right now, Jacob?
We're going to be looking at the prototype for munching, the next tier of salvage. The idea being we need some way to take apart a larger ship and break it into little pieces so that you can then pick it up in your salvage ships, gain some material from that, and you'll be able to sell that later. But we're going to be looking at just the breaking a ship apart phase, which is what we're prototyping here.
All right, so I got it queued up here. Let's take a look at this here. So obviously this is a vulture approaching a gladius.
Yep. So for the prototype, we've added in a new munching mode, sub-mode to salvage. So all of that hull scraping UI's disappeared. And we're going down to just what we need for this prototype, which is the ability to break apart a ship, which at the moment is going to look exactly the same as if you blew it up with your guns, but in future that would look rather different.
What's happening right here? I see the bar filling up on the left,
okay,
but nothing's happening with the ship.
Yeah, so this is the placeholder for the actual gameplay that would happen here. The design will have some actual gameplay for what you have to do as a player to break the ship apart, but we put in that little placeholder, which is just essentially a timer, a progress bar, based on how big the target is.
And that is actually on purpose, because the question that we are asking in this prototype are more technical. That means that we shouldn't focus on the gameplay aspect, so we should keep the gameplay as minimal or as simple as possible, and then so that we can fully focus on the technical bits of the prototype.
Okay, so we saw it broken into some, what looked like normal debris, but now we got to break it into smaller munchable stuff. So we'll go back to the video here.
So breaking it into normal debris is stuff that you've seen before, but when we have this bigger part, it doesn't come apart into more pieces naturally. So in this prototype, we are just deleting the thing and replacing it with loads of tiny little placeholder pieces to act as the munched apart debris. What you're also seeing is a prototype for how you will get those pieces into your cargo, which is a little suction field that grabs those little pieces, drags them towards the grinder in the mouth of the vulture, and from there they're converted into cargo.
Those little pieces that we saw are obviously not arted and everything. I want to remind people again, we've literally never shown anything in a prototype phase before, so forgive me for reiterating this 2 or 3 more times before we're done here. This is designer art, just small pieces to represent the mass and the size of stuff that we might be using.
It's even worse, it's coda art.
Yes, indeed. This is the programmer equivalent of a white box test, where I'm not even qualified to make white boxes, so I just rip off other assets that I found in the engine and just slap them together. So that's what this is.
And obviously, without being a prototype, there's no VFX, there's no explosions, there's no beams, there's none of the things that would mask this transition that would normally happen, so that you don't see the pieces just pop in, like they're currently doing.
Yes.
All right, so that was done on your local machine, just you on your workstation doing a local version of the universe here. The next phase, as I understand it, is to test it in PU conditions, and we're going to go ahead and start this video because this video is going to go for a little bit. Tell me what we're doing here.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what we're doing, and then we can discuss later why we're doing that.
Exactly.
What we're doing right here is I want to test worst case performance conditions. So I'm chucking in some console commands to load up or stream in several different landing zones at the same time. Because otherwise, me as just one player on the server, I wouldn't really be loading that much. I wouldn't be stressing the server. So I'm going to stress it quite a lot by loading up as many landing zones as I can think of off the top of my head, basically, until I see that server FPS count go appreciably lower. And then only once I've done that am I going to step into the actual gameplay test.
I also noticed you've upgraded from a Gladius to an 890 jump.
Yes, because when I think worst case for breaking a big thing into small things, I want the biggest possible thing, which is going to require lots and lots of small things. So, yeah, 890 jump is a good candidate for that.
Okay. So, what are you typing here? Oh, yeah.
I'm just typing in some comments for the other recipients of this video, because this was an internal video for, reviewing stuff.
Do you often use console commands to leave notes for people?
There are other ways, but it's the most convenient. So,
all right. So we've got the server simulating PU conditions. All the landing zones are loaded at once instead of streaming in and out like they would normally would.
Yes.
So it's actually worse than you would see on a normal PU.
Indeed, and we're going to see that immediately. That this breaking the ship apart that we saw work so nicely in the editor. Well, I've really annoyed the server here because all of these pieces are, popping in a not so great way, and I make a bit of a sarcastic comment about it in the console.
It's important to create these conditions, to test these things, not just in ideal conditions, not just the ideal universe of your own computer, or even the PU when it's like first loads and nobody's in and everything's great.
No, indeed. What I'm testing here is worse than we would hope it ever to be. We don't want it to ever be this bad, but we got to test it because it might be.
All right, so here's where beams would be shooting out, starting to break the ship apart.
yeah, there'd be extra gameplay here, there'd be VFX or whatever. But in the editor version, we saw pretty much as soon as the big piece disappeared, all those tiny little bits turned up. Well, it's not going to go that way in this situation. We're going to be waiting quite some time for all those little pieces to turn up.
Gotcha. And so while we're waiting for those pieces to turn up here, let's talk about what we learned from what we've learned from these tests so far. Obviously, there's some performance stuff, but there's also some gameplay implications from what we've seen. Torsten, you want to talk us through it?
Well, I can talk about some parts that we learned from, right?
Sure.
So the best thing that you can learn from a prototype is actually everything that goes bad, because this is the stuff that you can then iterate on and make the gameplay or the technical stuff even better. So from the gameplay perspective, so I will just talk about the gameplay stuff, and Jacob can talk about what we learned from a technical perspective there. Is from the gameplay we learned that what about big ships? So how, for example, now you saw the Vulture trying to attach to the 890 jump. That is a bit of a wonky situation and it doesn't feel right. So what about Vultures actually munching bigger ships? So how can we make that an interesting gameplay? Then you saw in the first video what happens when the ship transitions into the smaller bits. So the masking is a huge topic that we have to solve so that it feels right and you don't notice that one element pops away and another element pops in. So we definitely have to mask that. Then what you might have seen in the first part is the conversion of materials. I don't know if you paid attention to the filler station bar that basically fills the SU crates in the backside of the Vulture, but that filled drastically faster than it would normally do with hull scraping. That means that it would be more painful for you to munch because you have to stand up from your seat more often, go down to the filler station, remove the boxes. So this is definitely an issue that we then have to solve because we really don't want to have this gameplay to be more tedious than it's has to be. So we have to find a solution how we can make it more like much nicer for the player to actually remove those crates there. Then the navigation around the pieces is also something that we notice isn't that fun. So we will probably utilize the tractor beams there because we are anyway working on them. But maybe that makes it much easier for players instead of flying around and getting the pieces between the fork of the Vulture and then having it disintegrate, but instead you pulling the pieces in with a tractor beam. The fork of the Vulture is very limiting in terms of what pieces will fit. So this is also something we learned. And a big thing is, which already is standing out, is how can we make it fun and unique for the Reclaimer. So we just were looking in the prototype at the Vulture. And the big question that our team was asking in the end of that prototype was like, okay, how can we facilitate the claw and the uniqueness visuals or the uniqueness in general of the Reclaimer to actually facilitate that gameplay and have it stand out and be meaningful and fun.
All right, so a lot of gameplay. Gameplay implications from just that little prototype. Jacob, what was your takeaways?
From the tech perspective, I'm looking at things like the performance and also just what am I going to have to account for to achieve the designer's vision here. And I know that we're going to want things like the time that it takes to destroy something to be somewhat proportional for its size and mass. But from the initial prototype, I could already see that a bigger piece taking longer. It already takes a few seconds with the Gladius. If we're going to scale that up and scale up the time as well proportionally to a big target, we're going to have to think about what equation are we going to use for scaling that so that it doesn't take you ages, like sitting there for minutes to break something apart. I got to think about how I'm going to hook in the visual effects and the audio. What dependencies am I going to need to get involved.
Speaking of, judging time, the entity system is taking a little bit of time to spawn all the spawn debris. We've been talking. This is still going at the moment. Obviously, there's going to have to be some optimization work there with the entity system.
This is kind of what we've got with PES is that it's not quite as quick to create entities as before we had PES. And we have all sorts of great stuff that comes with PES, so this is just a small limitation that we have to learn to work around. But it tells us that gameplay ideas that we had before PES might need some adaptation in order to work efficiently in the post-PES world.
So speaking of which, let's go back to the video. I think we're about to get the entity spawns now. Any second, this is playing in the background while we've been
be here any moment now. Yes.
There we go.
There we go. And a bit of a flicker as they come in, but they're finally here. So this tells us, well, in this worst case scenario, this performance is obviously unacceptable. We're going to have to do something about this. So we are thinking about how can we change our approach? How can we optimize what we've got? Discussions in various different directions, but this is a key takeaway from this prototype, because if it had gone differently, if we tried this and the pieces turned up in just a few seconds or so, then we'd have known that this approach on the whole was probably acceptable, and with a little bit of optimization, it'd work. But that's not what happened. The stuff took minutes to arrive, and that means we have to do some more serious rethinking about how we're going to approach this.
The vision and the basically the acceptance criteria our directors define, they are still untouched, right? So those are still to be fulfilled, and even the overall vision that we as the team defined for how that gameplay should play out, those will be like, those are already set in stone because we all agreed on those. But how the actual gameplay then plays and feels, this is still affected by the prototype. A prototype like this is really perfect for stepping in early and making sure that every tick box on our acceptance criteria is met, and we can make a better gameplay out of it.
I think we all have a real desire and responsibility towards testing these things as often and as early and under as much duress as possible as we work to stabilize the PU and make it a more enjoyable experience going forward. So Torsten, Jacob, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that prototyping doesn't really look like much of anything, but it's an essential step towards proving out design and performance before all the artists and other devs go in to do their thing. That it's just as important to prove out good ideas and good paths to take as it is to encourage developers to seek out another way towards success. And that it's important to continue refining not just the features and content being made, but the very way that we test those things, earlier and earlier, and under a scale of duress. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thank you for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
Yes, I feel good indeed, and we're back.
Very happy to be here.
I'm very happy to have you here. Hey, Noir, thank you for following. Appreciate it. And Anonymous, thank you for the 50 gift subs. Thank you for that.
Oh,
wow, was not expecting that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm flabbergasted come to mind, but I don't like using big words. But I'm kind of thrown off. But yes, that was ISC. Let's go and let's call out the guests first before we get to people who are on the Soul team. So I guess the only guest we got Pops and Fist. So Pops, what are your thoughts about the ISC?
Oh wow! I mean, it's a lot. Okay, I thought about the. They said they were gonna, put the charges on the ships to break them up, and one of the first things I thought about, that's an added cost to the operation of breaking up a ship, especially if you run across something like a 890 jump and you're trying to trying to take it apart, and the cost of those percussive bomb, and then how they would actually all right, when you go in and you break up a rock, and the rock
Yeah.
kind of, it doesn't really explode, and I'm just wondering, the how they're gonna do this ship. Is it gonna be like a rock? Does that make sense? That it would look like how the rocks kind of um blow apart? So I'm just wondering that whole process that they're going through, and with the pieces, when you blow it up, with the pieces, damage your ship. How big is that
Hmm.
spread gonna be? Just all that making me think of the Redeemer, wanting to see the Redeemer. Those grinding up the parts on the inside of the ship. So yeah,
My
just
question
kind of.
is, what happens when someone is inside the ship when you do that? That's my
Oh,
question.
yeah, yeah,
They get
yeah, and
reclaimed.
yeah.
They get
And
reclaimed, I guess so.
the last thing is, when you get out of your ship, look up.
Hmm. All right. Face to face, what are your thoughts?
Excuse me. Me, when I saw this, I was immediately I started to think about, you know, um, some of the videos I've been watching recently from Unreal and Houdini on chaos destruction and destruction within those two engines. And from what I understand, those two engines, I mean, it's very taxing, and when I look at it, I'm like, wow, okay, they're taking on this task to be able to do this within a real time of the game, plus all of these other entities and assets being in the game. Like he was demonstrating, putting in all of this, the landing zones and stuff like that to test it out. And to be able to see, like Pops was talking about earlier, to see the transition from a whole ship to being broken apart. I mean, because a rock can be broken apart. That's not too bad of a destruction effect, but to see a ship break apart, with all of those
Particles.
with all of that, right? Well, not just only particle, but the geometry.
Geometry,
Um,
yeah.
because they have to now, take that ship, and then, like, especially for something like an 890, they have to cash it into millions of triangles, billions of millions of triangles, and then once you blow it up, like Pops was saying, then it, you know, uh, I don't know if it's gonna be a static repeated pattern, or if it's gonna be dynamic. That's even
Mm.
more task. So from seeing this, uh the technology, from them doing this from a technical standpoint, I mean, it's I'm impressed.
How about this? Whichever's easier, whichever is better for the servers. That's what I thought.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying. But I mean, to me, to wrap it up, is I'm impressed.
Mhm.
I mean, from to be able to see, I would like to definitely keep my eye on this and see how the way it progresses.
And by
Yeah,
the
'cause
way,
I'm just wondering, yeah, that spread when it explodes.
Right,
How far is that debris?
mhm.
right.
The
Because
containment area to that,
Yeah.
yeah,
And by the way, speaking of that poor 890, can we pour one out for the 890 jump?
oh boy.
All right. I'm a Kusanagi. What are your thoughts?
I think that well, again, they're just starting out. I think that the ship really should be able to cut hard lines across the hull and take out segments because there's like, oh, there's an issue with parts being too big. Like, okay, well, you get these giant lasers in the front. Why don't you just make them lasers on the front? And then that way you can cut the ship up how you need to cut it to get in between the arms. But I mean, they have to start from somewhere, so it's good that they're actually looking to get to something that looks like a tier 0, like the scene here where you're seeing the stuff go inside, into the munching portion of the ship. Obviously, what we will get eventually is kind of like the beams that go across. It makes it looks like it's passing these, with some, passing these glowing walls or whatnot to suck it in. So that would be just be a visual bug really after this along with this scene. But I think for the cutting part, which is also their concern with how to deal with big pieces. I mean, that's, I think, having a cut because it can cut. I mean, that just makes sense. I use the Vulture a lot right now, and it's I find it very relaxing, and even I don't mind going in the boxes, doing the boxes in the back. It's kind of like tedious a little bit, but I can get like 20-25 boxes back there. So it's not bad if you're looking to make a little bit of money. It's like literally like a couple bucks below $200,000. And it's a nice gameplay. How that will affect pricing of what those boxes will contain will be different. Besides the point. Did they say they have to go outside and like bomb it? Is that what they said? You have to like explode it?
I don't remember, Admiral. If they,
I don't recall that specifically.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Do you have to go out, or is it something that you can launch? And it would attach to it, and then.
I'm like, you already have like the mining thing. You put it on your backpack or whatever, and you go out, and it helps you out mining stuff like that. I just don't need to do same thing for every industrial ship. It just what's the difference? What makes this different than the other thing? Because then it's like almost identical. This is just right now it's just you're brushing your teeth pretty much on a ship because you're just brushing away and brush. But I would just like to have to if I have to go outside and like pick up get components and bring them back in my ship, sure, it's cool. Go into a ship and be like, oh, I'm gonna pull out a power plant or something like that. That makes a lot of sense. But
let me ask this.
No.
What do you think of the idea about prototypes specifically, though? Because that's what the episode is more about. It's not about the Vulture specifically, but more about prototype design, prototype concept, prototype.
Oh, it's cool. They're trying to do this stuff to find ideas and to find it. They did the solution. They did the prototype. They see the errors that are popping up, and they know they have to go about it differently, which is it's a positive for us in the community. How long it takes them to find like a solution that works and makes it look good, that's another thing. But at least they're putting this gameplay into action and trying to get it on the whiteboard and done.
Yeah,
I'm watching the 890. Go ahead.
Yeah. What's that? One of Jarrett's favorites saying this is game development.
The only constant in game development is change.
You know what this is making me think of right now? We're watching the 890. If everybody remembers the Enterprise D, when they first met the Borg, and it cuts that hole in the ship and then sucks it out, like that is kind of what I'm thinking. To be able to cut segments out of a ship and then eat it up. So that would be really cool.
But my reason for saying it's a good look at when they come up, because that's what they talked about. They come up with an idea, then they pass it off to the other department to actually implement it and work on the things that they need to get it done. It's not just instant, oh, let's salvage, let's do this. It's a lot of work behind it, from concept to implementation of it. So it's definitely a good look into it. Even though it's just a small slice of it, it's definitely a good look at what they have to go through.
Yeah, And this is only just one aspect involving this specific feature. They have to go through this for every feature, or not every feature, but potentially every feature that they have in the game eventually,
Damn
or
right.
or in the past.
Yeah. It's definitely not just come up with an idea. Next week it's in the game. Definitely not,
Nope. So yeah, Jay, what are your thoughts, especially in regard to prototyping?
Yeah, well, to answer Puff's question, I think the one that he was looking for from Jarrett was, this is game development, not game construction.
Yeah,
And
oh, that one? Okay.
right.
yeah,
that's
and
one.
it's really appropriate for this episode too, because what you're seeing here is extremely early development of a feature. And I like that they did this, because a lot of people have wanted to see something like this, where it didn't have to be polished. It had to be, they just wanted to see something earlier, and this is great, because this is something that a lot of people have been looking forward to. I think this is the last, I don't want to say the last major thing they'll do with salvage, but it's the last type of salvage that we know of, right? Because
at least for now.
Yeah, because we've already got hull scraping, we have component salvage, and then this was the final. This isn't final, right? This is very early, but the concept of this is like the final one. And that's about all I have to say. I'll cede the remainder of my time to 30K Kalrati.
Well, I do have a question for you, Jay, but before we get to Kalrati. So last time we talked about salvage.
Oh no, I knew you were going to go here.
You had a specific opinion. You want to change your mind after watching this ISC?
Well, why don't you enlighten me to that opinion I have?
We'll talk about it in Souls of the After Dark. We'll get to it later.
I mean, we can do it. No, you know what? We can do it here.
No, I'm messing with you, Jay.
No, go ahead. What was it? Oh, it was? No. See, I thought you were going to bring up, what do you prefer more?
Yeah, that is what I'm bringing up.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying we get to it later.
I was going to ask you that, but that was going to be for After Dark. I still stay with stripping. Stripping is, I think, even after seeing this, I still think I prefer stripping to the okay. So I'm just saying.
Griffin's going to tell me. Come on. Hey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So it was quite interesting to see how much thought process had to go into, just this one key element, and how some of the ideas on how we want to experience the gameplay. What they said, and it was nice to understand that how that's left up to design. So it was nice to see that this is how they generate the markup of the conceptual application of it, or rather the practical application of it, so that that can act as some kind of guidance to the game design aspect. It was rather interesting when they had pointed out the limitation behind PES on the entity loading, because some of us thought that given how the replication layer with its high cache memory can account for that, but it's nice to see that there are more positives than drawbacks with regards to that aspect. And of course, like I said, it's just that they have to find ways around it. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the game design aspect, as they had shown the prototyping aspect, similar to how Admiral Pops and how they were talking about the next stage, and how we have certain things that we have in the game that they can utilize for the game design aspect. Where, for example, with the salvaging, we already have previews of how the ships are broken up, or rather their segments. So perhaps for the game design aspect, they can use the knowledge or the objective from the prototyping stage to get that done and possibly reuse what we already have. And additionally, what was nice is that they identified certain shortcomings with regards to the current salvage tripping, where, for example, when one SU is generated, you have to continuously get out of your ship and go to the back and move it. So who knows, maybe for vulture owners who may not have another person to accompany them, maybe we'll get some kind of update to moving the 1SU cargo that may be automatic, given the rate at which 1SU container is being generated from munching. So it would be interesting to see an update on that from just this prototyping stage as well. So yeah, it was a really enlightening episode.
So, Kawani, I'm curious because you weren't here in the previous episode where we talked about this, but what do you think about munching?
Is this a fast card joke?
I think it's going there. You can watch yourself.
I feel like it was a fast card.
Don't step in it. Don't
You're
step
right.
in it.
I was ready. I was like, oh my god.
He tried to.
So
Tried to get
let's move
up on that landmine.
Let's move on then. My thoughts about this episode. I enjoyed it. It gave us some insights about prototyping and the stuff they go through, specifically for this, but especially for salvaging. I'm looking forward to it more than I was. I like that effect of the vulture is going to have, or something like that. I'm looking forward to get it refined and polished. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm probably going to pick up a vulture in the game. I don't know if I'm going to spend money or spend credits on it right now, but specifically for the vulture, yeah, I'm curious about it now. I'm looking forward to it. Oh shoot! And I forgot it. I should have said that a long time ago when you first got back. Galactapedia, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. Thank you, Galactapedia. I know I said it in chat, so that's why I forgot about it. Oh, my question is, how do you get a durag in game?
Oh boy.
You go to Grim Hex.
Oh.
You go to Grim Hex? That's where you
Yeah.
go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless
you're a female character model, because then you can't wear it. But I digress.
But that's not really a do-rag, though, Faster.
It's a 30th century version. How about that?
We can go with that.
In order for you to have a do-rag, he's got to have like a pack of cools,
Well, I don't smoke, so we'll see.
Oh my goodness. And a 40 ounce.
A 40. Hey, we don't have a 40 anymore because we put it out for the 890. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
All right, so that was the ISC preparing prototypes. I thought it was an interesting episode. All right, so up next we have. Oh yeah, this is a shout out. Speaking of the Galactapedia who rated us, thank you for that again. Galactapedia on Tuesday did a special episode called Christmas in July, Star Citizen Holiday 2016 live stream rewatch. So just kind of take it from the title. This is a rewatch of the holiday live stream 2016. It's been heralded as the worst production CIG has put out ever. And this is the Christmas Holiday 2016, and he aired this on July 25th, so it was like Christmas in July, except we named it Cringemas because there's so much cringe in this episode. So check that out in the link that Jade posted. It's a fun watch, and it's what did I say in here? It's an historic event, and everyone should suffer through. I mean, watch it once.
There's some good stuff. There is some good stuff in that, though. There was some stuff they talked about. There was a lot of talking, a lot of stuff they talked about.
And the great thing about it is that Paul gave some historic context to it. So,
yeah. True. Yeah, I was there watching it.
So yeah, we're not gonna watch any of it now because I just want to let people know that it's up on YouTube. So yeah, give that a watch. It's pretty funny. But yes, we do have our Machinima. We'll have two kind of, but this is this is a short one, so I'm probably not gonna go full. Well, I'll go full screen, but this is the Star Citizen Community Farewell to Port Olisar. This came out a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't cover it, so I just want to put it here and talk about it, and then we'll do another one after this. But let's go.
Port Olisar, the space station above Crusader with
majestic views. Over the years, you have become more than just a space station.
You've become a beacon of hope,
dreams, and aspirations of what is to come. A launching point
for our adventures and the beginning of an era. We will miss you
and all the memories you bring every time we see you.
But fear not for us, for we are moving towards the future, on the path that you paved for us. And there will be a new angel in the sky watching over us. Seraphim.
This is not farewell, my old friend.
I will search Pyro and beyond till we meet again.
When we do, I will be flooded with the memories of where this adventure began.
The community.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty touching tribute. Yeah, the rest of it is mostly credits and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, free fall. What do people think, real quick?
Very good tribute.
Okay, I'm sorry. Face to face.
I just said very good tribute. That's all.
Okay, I saw Pop light up.
Yeah, no, that was touching. It really was. I mean, you think about it, how much PO means to everyone. It's the place where we first used to start at.
Yeah,
and we came to know the verse from PO, and I really, I mean, now first of all, I have a question: is there a model of PO anywhere that you can buy and put on your desk in your hangar?
There's a holo model.
Yeah. I think it's a subscription, right? Subscription player.
Yeah, you have to have a holo table first, and then or I don't know, maybe it comes with a holo table, but yeah,
I don't think so.
Subscriber.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Do you remember
Fastcart? Yeah, it comes with a holo table.
It's been a while.
Okay. Yeah.
What did you say, Kabadi? Sorry.
Yeah, like Griff said, it comes with the holo table.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't looking at chat. My bad. But yeah, so there's a hang-up player, so I think it's like $5.
Okay. So you can still buy the table, though, and then you have to buy the model.
Yeah.
So you get the table.
It comes with a holo table, so it's just $5, I think.
Oh, okay. That's what my question is. Is it a
it just comes with a table.
Purchase? Okay, all right. Yeah. But I still would like, if we could, I don't know, somehow get a badge for everybody that was in the game before they, before the new one comes up. Maybe we get a piece or something, some kind of
PO original OG.
Yeah, something, an OG piece or badge or something. I don't,
I will say
that would
this
be
though,
cool.
real quick before you move on though. PO is probably the initiation ground before the old, before you can set your spawn point. PO was your initiation ground, like coming into the game to get pad rammed.
Yeah, good old days.
So yeah, I just want to
first pad ramming.
I just want to say, it's funny because the new people coming in, for the most part, some of them, I mean, they probably don't have even been to. Some of them probably haven't been to Porto because they hear it's a bad time there. So for the old timers, and I came in 2016, which isn't that old actually for some people. I remember walking out of the airlock and looking at the rings and looking at Crusader, oh my god, for many people here, it's it's just a different experience, and seeing that in 2016, because we pretty much see the same thing now. So imagine that, in the amount of games that you've seen in this past, 7 years or so, but seeing that in 2016 and it was mind-boggling when I saw it. So
yeah,
I think for a lot of people like myself and people here, Porto is really something special to a lot of people, and some people are very upset that it's leaving. We'll see what they do with it, but yeah, it's served us for a long time.
Well, we know what they're going to do. They're going to drop it into Crusader, right? that's what the writers, the lore team want to do with it. But yeah, I mean, I've been around since 2014, and when PO first came online, you first logged in, and you step out of your hab, and you get onto your ship, and you look around for the first time, seeing those rings, especially like when the wings sometimes work. When the wings work, it's great. It's because you see the wing spinning slowly, and it was kind of majestic, especially versus watching it on your screen on the video and versus playing in the game. It was kind of majestic. So yeah. Any final thought? Go ahead.
Yeah. It was really cool to be a part of this thing.
So like, I think I did hear you in there.
Yeah. So, I was gonna say, if you listen to the People's Radio, you'll recognize a couple of those voices because Zool was, in it, and then he asked me if I wanted to be in it, and so I submitted some voiceover. So, yeah, it's. I mean, and like I think we were all, OGs, Port Olisar OGs. I might be one of the later ones because I came in at the end of 2016, so like late 2016, early 2017. But we
you
had
barely
it.
make the cut.
Yeah, but we like that, and that's the thing too, right? Prior to this video, I had done a People's Radio News where I went and I actually interviewed some people, and I found a new guy who had never, he'd gone to Port Olisar because he heard it was going to go away. He wanted to see what all the hype was about, and he was nonplussed about it. He was just like, I don't understand it. They have a medical clinic.
We are spoiled for fun.
Yeah, so it's it definitely has a place in the heart of people, like you said, like that Fist and Pop said about that was where you spawned. My first Port Olisar memory was the first time I logged in the game, and I went, I figured out how to go see where my ship was. I went to see my ship just as somebody else's got rammed off the pad, and I was just like, I was both horrified and intrigued at the same time, and here we are, like many years and dollars later. So, yeah.
And see, if that was Kelradi, he'd be thinking, "Oh my God, I'm gonna kill so many people right now."
Right. I was just thinking, like, you can do this? Like, whoa. Not that I wanted to do it, but it was just the amount of freedom in the game. Just it lived up to what the Chris Roberts idea was. Like, there wasn't going to be something artificial that prevented that.
Then just to let you know, Jay, this time I do see your name in the credits this time, okay?
Oh yeah, but look, they call me Jade Starwalker. I don't want to be related to Luke. I'm sorry, but that's okay. I'll allow it just for this video.
You'll allow it, okay? Cool. All right, so that was Star Citizen Community Farewell to Port Olisar. And this is a 4-minute long Machinima. This is from ZarkMedia called Organization Exhibit in Area 18 News for the Star Citizens and Civilians. So let's check that out. It's 4 minutes.
Welcome to ArcCorp. I'm Oliver Zark, and you're watching Hubwire Velocity, quick stories from around the verse. With me today I have our very own unpaid reporting intern, Russell Gainsley. Russell, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm hungry and I don't know how to get home, but I'm doing great.
Russell, always a jokester. Earlier this week, WarCon took place here in Riker Memorial, and after having spent 5 hours on the show floor, we're ready to tell you how it went down. Russell, from all the different organization demonstrations, which one stood out to you the most?
Well, it was surprising to see Evil Org on the schedule after they staged a literal kidnapping last year. And also, heard both Orb Interstellar and the Ragtag Mercs were open to dealing with them.
Interesting, but for me it has to have been when Phoenix Industries opened up the bomb bay on the Retaliator and dropped a huge load of Picos on the hangar floor.
What? Yeah, that was cool, I guess.
Another surprising fact I learned was that Qantas Starlines are offering free tours around the Stanton system. Anyone looking for a tour or a career as a tour pilot should look up Qantas Starlines, or Orb Interstellar for that matter, but be careful with that last org as you said, they've recently reached out to Evil Org for partnerships.
Well, can you blame them? No one pays for tourism anymore, but they still have to fuel those cruise ships.
We saw a great number of orgs with big ambitions.
No kidding, almost planet-size big.
That's right. Star Empire, with their 700 members, wants to buy a planet of their own. But when answering questions about their use of AI, they simply answered, "We don't care." I guess, since the AI couldn't help them reach further than the Grey Corsair, owning that planet is a long stretch goal. Along the same lines of grand egos, the Galactic Order refused to answer questions entirely. The ragtag mercs humbly made comparisons between themselves and the old Earth Emperor Napoleon, and Test Squadron talked beautifully about their flat and equal organization, all while dressed in golden fabrics, standing in front of their golden 600i. Didn't look very flat and equal to me.
It's even more crazy when you consider how much the price of gold has exploded recently.
Did we see any orcs who didn't chase money or power?
Well, we sure did. The Happy Haulers sounded like a jolly group of private hauling fleets just doing their thing, and Quantum Junk Medical are a solid choice for org pilots who are looking to sign up for a pure breed medical career.
And don't forget SC Market, where people can source just about anything from around the verse.
And GHRM showing off their reclaimer and salvage operation.
People say there was a reclaimer in that hangar, but I didn't see it.
Well, I was in the bathroom, so I don't know.
I'm telling you, I got a bad vibe from those guys in GHRM.
You didn't mention Black Widow Company.
That's right. I was actually stuck in an elevator on Riker during that whole demonstration, so I missed it.
Ah, that's too bad. They did good. Did you have snacks at least?
Not with me, no. But I did find a half-finished bottle of Cruise on the floor. It's amazing, really. How being able to regenerate has really lowered the bar for what I put in my mouth.
Do you want to end on that note, Oliver?
Absolutely. I'm Oliver Zark.
And I'm Russell Gainsley.
And you're wiser than yesterday. Be safe.
I'm gonna try to be good. I'm gonna try to be good. We're back.
You're already bad right now.
Alright, so would anyone have any comments about this episode? Oh, joke ban me, huh? Okay, fine.
You asked for it.
So, Jade, you want to say anything about this episode?
Yeah, this is great. This is basically an episode about an event that happens every year called OrgCon. So, basically, this is HubNet, Hubwire Galactic or Hubwire Velocity covering OrgCon, which is an in-the-verse event. So I love stuff like this because these are people and orgs in the community. They get together, and and then we have this community news program that's covering it. Like this is like something I think we're going to see a lot more of when the game is released, and the fact that people are doing it now, it's incredible. I love it.
Cool. Anyone else?
That was great. I mean, I'm glad to see, again, community content surrounded by community events, being advertised, and just gives you kind of a future look into what we will hopefully possibly see within game.
Cool. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Go ahead,
nope.
Okay.
Get Roddy first. Step in it. Step
All
in
right.
it.
I couldn't say anything earlier because I had to get this thing out of my mouth. But it was nice to actually see like this kind of idea behind the OrgCon. And like Fish said, with regards to the gameplay inspirations, it'll be nice to see like related factions in the game, related NPC factions having an event like this that will attract players who have positive affiliation with these factions or NPC orgs to do something. So it was nice to see this kind of event take place and their coverage of it, because it gave some really cool ideas about in-game events and how we could participate with these things some more,
Okay, Pops.
Well, we got to see where they're testing the bombs to blow up the ship. It was in the hangar.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. There's one person who was walking away from the explosion in the middle of that. I thought that was a lucky happy thing. Trying to look cool, but it was by accident. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, this is interesting. I don't if you all don't follow ZarkMedia, go ahead and follow ZarkMedia. The link is in the chat. He always does good stuff, especially some of the long form content that he's produced. So yeah, or I should say they now because they have. I don't think it's just one person anymore.
Oh no,
But
there's
yeah.
a whole team of people at ZarkMedia, and if you want to learn how to make Machinima, it's one of the best places, one of the friendliest Discords you can join. I'm sure Oliver would love me telling people that. So if you ever want to get in on this stuff, definitely hit up their Discord, and I will put a link to ZarkMedia's YouTube page.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And yes, so we come to an end of another episode of Soul Talk. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Oh, but before I do that, well, let me just thank everybody now. So I'm thinking about it. Hammer Kuchinagi, Face to Face, Griffin for hanging out in chat and Discord with us. Jade, Kawadi, and Popping Face, and everybody in chat on YouTube and Twitch for hanging out with us. But before I forget, we are doing a fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Hospital. I think we got money today. 1427, because we were at 1327 before, I thought. So whoever donated, thank you. I appreciate it. And unfortunately, the list on the page goes by top donor. Yeah, we did. Okay, thank you. The list goes by top donor. It doesn't go by date, so it's hard to keep track of. Unless you remember the number. And then yeah, so thank you for the donation, and I thank you. And we are doing a fundraiser between now and starting June 1st until October 22nd, which is Citizen Con weekend. And for incentive, we're giving away certain prizes at certain milestones. So you check the list on your screen that you see on there, and you can see at $10,000 we're giving away an Endeavor match set. So hopefully we are trying to get to $10,000 by October 22nd. We have a few months left still, so hopefully we can reach that. But thank you all. Before I forget, there's Chicago had in Bar Citizen. They moved from July 29th to August 26th. So if you're in the Chicago area, Million Honest, hopefully we'll have more information about the update soon. I looked in our channel earlier today, I didn't see an update, but yeah, it moved from July 29th to August 26th. So yes, let me get down to my thing. Okay, yeah. So we also have other shows on this channel. One of which is Soul Voices, Saturday 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. That's where Griffin Gaming RPG covers what's going on in the week of Star Citizen, but he covers more specific threads from some Spectrum, Reddit, and sometimes something from the industry in general. And that's always fun. It's more of a one-on-one conversation, and it's a pleasant conversation, and it's really chill and fun. So check that out Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. That's part of PodChat or Podcast Saturday, where we start off with Soul Voices, and then we go into Captain Table, and then we end off with Relay Station at 9 p.m. Eastern on 1 a.m. UTC. And again, a special shout out to Ezper, because not only did he do that amazing stream on Tuesday with the Cringe Mess, he was also on Soul Citizen this past weekend. So it's a collaboration, a two-part collaboration from Saturday and Sunday, and it was a lot of fun. So thank you to Ezper for hanging out with that. And on Sunday, we're doing a show called the Space Tycoon, 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC. We were talking about building wealth through trading. And I believe it's me and Kawadi. We're going to be on there. Right, Kawadi? Maybe not.
P30K.
Okay. Well, yeah, hopefully me and Kawadi, and maybe we'll find someone else. But yeah, building wealth through trading. That should be an
Yes, episode. I will be there. Sorry.
With your mouth full again.
It was full, man.
He was cleaning.
Did you just take a bite as soon as I asked the question?
Multiple bites. Yeah, let's just go with that.
All right, so yes, that is Space Tycoon. So yes, thank you for that. You want to become a Soul Build, Soul Sis, or Soulmate? Soul Sis membership have its privileges. Click the join button below on YouTube. I would have said thank you for everybody. You can follow us on social media everywhere. Soul Citizen with an S on the end. Be sure to buy our merchandise if you want to support us, but we prefer for the time being for you to support the fundraiser for St. Jude's Hospital. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, or follow depending on what platform you're on, and make sure you hit the notification bells so you can so you'll be notified whenever we go live. And I believe that's it. We're going to raid Kitty Cupcake. I keep on wanting to say the 8, but I believe it's just pronounced Kitty Cupcake. So yeah, make sure you send her our love from Soul Citizen. And with that, peace, love, and soul. Take care, everybody.
Are you and Karate getting ready to rumble in the alleyway now?
What do you think about it?